I'll tell you that. We've lost our last 2 bowl games and getting kind of tired of that. And we worked so hard to continue to get better from that 6 and 7 year. Last year we go 0-2 and win 10 in a row, but then we just can't finish that season out. And this year we have another really good season. We win the East, and we didn't win the SEC championship, but we certainly performed a lot better, at least felt better about ourselves when the game was over. As far as when you compare it to how we finished against the LSU game. And then, so now we wanted to win this bowl to just maybe prove to ourselves even that we are one of the better teams in the country. And so I'm just real thankful for the victory. Very impressed with Coach Pelini's team. They definitely were well prepared, played extremely hard. It looked to me like we were a little more tired than they were. There were a couple plays where we looked fast. When Chris Conley caught the ball, we looked pretty fast. But of course, Chris is in tremendous condition. But I think that our guys did a good job of sucking it up when they were tired. We played in a climate a little bit warmer than we were practicing in. Certainly in Athens, it was a lot cooler, and even here in town, it was fairly cool until the last 2 days. We didn't practice yesterday, so I think that got us a little bit, but we fought through. And when you make a big play here and there, all of a sudden it gives you a little boost of energy as well. So we made enough big plays at the right moment. And again, just thankful for the victory. Real proud of Aaron and the job he did. I had a couple things go not exactly quite the way he wanted them to go. Had a couple picks early, and just hung in there, very resilient, and finished. I guess he was MVP. Somebody thought he played good by the end of the game, so that was good. So I'm proud of him. Proud of Jarvis. Jarvis has been such a breath of fresh air for us at Georgia. Coming from Southern Cal and having to sit out a year, and a lot of guys, if they're sitting out, they and know they're not going to play, they just kind of want to bide their time and wait for spring ball. But he did a super job of jumping on the scout team and rallying them guys and just wanting to play football. We knew we had a special person. We already knew he was a special player, but we realized what a special person he was, and he's just played tremendously on the field for us and has been a great leader for us. He was voted the team captain, overall team captain for this team. And that's a vote by his peers, by the players. The coaches vote for captains throughout the year, but at the end we let the players choose. And they felt Jarvis was the leader of this football team. And of course, Aaron was one of the captains on offense as well. So anyway, that's probably a longer statement than y'all wanted, but that's it.
All right, we'll open it up to Q&A this time. Once again, if you could please find a microphone if you have a question.
Aaron, I'm curious, Coach alluded to the start you got off to. You've had some tough starts in bowl games. What would you say, where did the turnaround come for you, and how did you end up feeling when it was all said and done?
It definitely was a tough start with a couple picks early, but they were early on. We knew it was a full game ahead of us. We were still in the game when those plays occurred, so it was great after the second pick to come right back out and have a nice, whatever it was, 70, 80-yard touchdown. The Vars did a great job of boxing the guy out, making the catch, and then bursting after that to get the touchdown. So just very proud of our guys, especially, on offense. Defense obviously did their thing as always, but our guys kept fighting. Definitely didn't make all the plays that were out there, but when you put up 45 points, I think that we had against a team like Nebraska with a great defense, you got to feel happy about that.
Aaron, you kind of touched on it, but just talk about getting your first bowl win, and if this is your last game, how do you want to be remembered?
It was an awesome game. I'm definitely very excited to get a win. Everyone in the past asked me, how do you feel heading into off seasons compared to winning or losing? And I'm like, I don't know what it feels like to head into an off season with a win. So it's a great feeling to get a win. It's great for these seniors who have meant so much to this team. They really have done a great job. The seniors, older guys like Jarvis, myself, and Arthur, of leading this team this whole off season, summer camp, throughout the season as well. So like I said, it's a great thing to win the game. Great to get 12 wins. I think we're the third team in Georgia history to do that, so that's something special. But the future, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just enjoying the moment right now.
Mark, it seemed like you were interested in aggressively debating with the officials at one point during the game.
What was that about?
Yeah.
Well, I thought the 25-second clock ran out. I thought it went to 0, and then the ball snapped after 0, and it was a touchdown. I mean, obviously that could have been the difference in winning and losing, so I wasn't really thrilled about it. But I don't know if you can review that kind of thing or not. But I was a little upset about that.
Coach and Aaron, third downs, those were big today. Talk about, were there things that you saw adjustments make and they'd stop you a couple, first, second down, and then all those big plays over and over? What was happening?
Aaron, you can answer that.
You got to give a lot of credit to Coach Bobo. We really, as an offense, felt great with our game plan. Obviously, when you have a whole month to prepare, you can definitely draw up some new plays. So we had some new stuff for Nebraska. Some stuff, like I said, we felt extremely comfortable with as an offense. Things we've been repping. We had 15 practices and tons of walkthroughs and meetings. So we had tons of time to walk through the plays. Like I said, we knew they would be there. We just had to execute, and we did that, and we were able to make some crucial third downs this game.
This is for Jarvis over here. Hey, Jarvis. Can you just talk about setting the record today? I know you haven't been a big individual stat guy, but to break David Pollock's single-season sacks and tackles for loss and what might have been your last game, how much does that mean to you to set those marks?
Did I break it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I missed like 4 sacks. So
That's awesome.
You actually broke it on when Martinez was ruled for intentional grounding. You were credited with the sack on that, and that
really?
put you over the top.
So I got to say record? Oh, dang.
That's awesome.
No, thank you. I think it was great. I think we came out there, and not to take nothing away from Nebraska, they got a great program. They executed, they made a lot of plays, and I think our coaches did a great job of halftime adjustment, us coming back out there and adjusting to what they was calling and executing. And I think our players honed in, and like Coach Richt says, it's a 60-minute game, and you got to fight all 60 minutes. And the guys believed in it, and it's something we've been doing the whole year. And we just kept fighting and executing and having fun.
Hey, Aaron and Coach Richt, this is for you guys. Obviously, Todd Gurley had a great day today. He had, I think, close to like 150 yards rushing. How important was him running the ball effectively to the passing attack today?
We always want to be able to be a balanced offense, and Todd and Keith have just been unbelievable this whole season with the way they've been running and their big play, just the big plays they're able to make. But a lot of credit has to go to the offensive line. Those guys, you go back to spring ball, and I would, look at Coach Rick and Coach Bobo and that first couple days of practice, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be hurt next season. And those guys continue to get better and better every day in spring. And by day 15, by the spring game, they were great. Had a great summer. Those guys, they showed up every day to workouts. They held meetings and extra workouts, and then they had an unbelievable camp and have just been the catalyst to this offense the entire season. They're just really a special unit, and really, like I said, they're the main reason why I think we've been so successful in offense this year. Because looking at those running lanes and the amount of time they give me to throw the ball, it's like I said, they're definitely the ones that make this offense run.
Mark, what did you say at halftime? It's kind of a seesaw game back and forth the first half, and also for Jarvis. How do you think, just what did y'all put together to hold Nebraska to one touchdown in the second half?
Okay. Well, I think what a coach might say at halftime is probably overrated. I think what Jarvis had mentioned, our defensive coordinator making adjustments, getting on the, we put an overhead projector up and we draw things up, and Coach Grantham is making sure everybody understands what's going to happen in the second half. And Mike Bubbles doing the same thing offensively. I think those are the things that the coaches say that make the biggest difference. And I just want to remind them of a year ago and help them understand that, we were pretty much in the same situation a year ago, although, I think we were up 16-0, but it was just one of those games where anybody could win it. And just wanted to challenge them to play hard for their seniors and challenge the seniors to know they had 30 more minutes to wear the red and black and to make the best of it. But I think the most important thing is the type of adjustments that are being made. And then Jarvis, if you could remember the question to you.
I think, like Coach Richt said, the adjustment, and I mean, our offense came out, and Aaron and the rest of the offense, they came out punching, and they made the game, they opened up the game a little bit, and they gave us a chance, to do a lot of stuff on defense and set some pressures, and get the quarterback rattled, make them change their game plan and adjust to ours. So, by the offense coming out, executing it and making plays and scoring touchdowns, that allowed us to, open up our game plan a little bit.
Aaron, do you mind talking about that 87-yard touchdown to Chris? It seemed like you weren't certain that he got in there right at the end. What did you see?
From the snap, they're pretty much bringing a full house blitz, bringing everyone. We had a little jailbreak screen, so it was pretty much either going to be a huge play or bust tip ball, and just my job just to try to get it off to him as any way I can, and I was able. Get around, and he just did the rest of the work. It was pretty cool to see, as soon as he caught the ball, there was no one in sight. I mean, it was just everyone on both sidelines on man-to-man coverage, and it was just, off to the races for him. So, he got to show off his speed a little bit. It was definitely a huge play for us. I think it was 3rd and long there, third down conversion. So, but, like I said, a great catch by him, and then, he did the rest of the work.
Aaron, you've had, excuse me, were you talking about the first touchdown he had?
Oh,
is that the one you're speaking of, or the long bomb at the end? Okay. Yeah, you were good.
Aaron, you've had 2 big games in this stadium, both in high school and now today. After the disappointment last year in Tampa, can you talk about maybe the feeling to come in somewhat close to home and performing so well, in Central Florida?
I think just the biggest thing is just getting a bowl win. It's definitely it's special. It feels great to win a game. I mean, Coach Richt said it in the locker room as soon as we got in there, how great it feels to walk in there at the end of the game and not see a bunch of seniors with their heads down. I mean, I think that was the toughest thing the past 2 years, being an underclassman, to walk in there and to see those seniors and their faces and just knowing that, hey, that's their last game. They'll never wear the red and black again, and they went out with a loss. So walk into that locker room with people hugging and celebrating, jumping up and down. I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling. So I'm feeling great. I'm happy with the victory.
Aaron, this receiving core seems to have a resiliency about it. I mean, you lose Marlon and Michael early in the season, and then Malcolm today, but you're still so effective through the air. A, can you talk about the receiving core's resiliency, and B, how much will that group have an impact on the receiving?
I mean, the receiving core is unbelievable. I mean, Coach Ball has done a great job with them. I give a lot of credit to how hard they worked in the offseason as well. I mean, in May, a lot of us it's our time to go home. But myself and a bunch of the receivers decided to stay in May in Georgia to work out and to get some extra reps in and throwing days in. And then all season long, just the way, guys go down and just another guy steps in and makes plays. Conley, Justin Scott Wesley, Wu. Those guys just really have stepped in with the absence of Michael and Marlon. So just like I said, a special group of guys. They work extremely hard. Coach Ball is one of the best receiving coaches in the country, in my opinion. I mean, he really drills them. I mean, they get frustrated with him sometimes because he's looking for perfection. But then at the end of the day, I know they love him because, like I said, he pushes them to the max. And when they get out there, they perform extremely well.
Real quick, I've been informed that there are, for those interested in breakout interviews, there are Georgia players in the East Breezeway now, but we'll go on to the next question.
These are for the 2 players. After the season is over, obviously there's this time of reflection. Do you think you'll be thinking about the 12 wins and finishing up, here at the bowl game, or do you think it's going to continue to sneak up on you what happened as far as against Alabama and how close you came to playing that national title game?
I mean, I think it speaks for itself. The SEC game was a couple weeks ago. We did what we can, and I mean, we lost. We came up kind of short. I think we played well, and it was definitely a game that we had the opportunity to win. But, you know, you can't take away from the day. I think we came out here and we executed. You know, we gave our seniors the opportunity to leave here with a win in a bowl game. So, I mean, it's definitely something we look forward to and something we'll remember for a long time.
Obviously, the loss was tough, you know, to come that close to win the SEC championship and then, you know, being able to play for a national championship. But, you know, I know it probably lingered in some of our minds, but the best thing to do after a loss is get back out there and play and to get a victory. So I know, I think today definitely eased the pain. You know, obviously, you know, that game versus Alabama will be a game everyone will remember forever, just because it was such an exciting game. It came down to the end, but like I said, there's no better way to send our seniors off than a win. And I know they'll definitely remember this whole bowl trip, the whole experience. It's been a great time here in Orlando. You know, a lot of fun times. I know they'll remember that, and like I said, also this victory.
Aaron, what would be the big factors that you'll weigh when you make your decision, and what kind of bearing will today's game have on that overall?
I don't think this game had any, you know, one way or the other. It wasn't, you know, I think it's, you know, I'm going to sit down with my parents and the next few days, and like I said, still got to draw up the, you know, pros and cons, everything, and go from there. And like I said earlier, I mean, I'm just, you know, too excited right now and happy with this victory and happy for those seniors. You know, as Jarvis and I guess are blessed to be in this opportunity to have, you know, make this tough decision. But like I said, right now I'm just enjoying the process, or enjoying this whole, you know, win this game in this week, and you know, then I'll go from there.
Coach Richt, along the same lines, you've had guys leave early for the NFL draft. What advice and what process do you go through there to help them make that decision?
Well, the big thing for me is that I just want them to get good information. I want them to be able to get the best information they can. And then I do want them to take time to really soul search and decide what's best for them. Talk to their families, talk to their former coaches, talk to anybody who's really important to them, maybe a preacher, maybe a pastor, you know. And then hopefully, you know, put it to prayer and then come to a decision. And the way I feel about it is I want their heart to be in the decision. If you know, the last thing I want to do is try to talk a guy into staying if his heart's not in it. You know, I'd rather him just go through the process and come out of there and say, you know, I want to stay. It's just like the group of seniors that stayed last year. You know, they stayed, I think, for the right reasons. Certainly they wanted to maybe advance their prospects in the NFL draft. I know that was part of it, but you know, they also wanted to come back and do something big. They also wanted to play alongside their teammates again. They wanted to, be in a position to be a senior and a leader. And I think when they go through that process and they know that in their heart that's what they want to do without being coerced into it in some way, shape, or form, the buy-in's there, that there's something about it. And I think that's why this team became a special team, because those guys really wanted to be back and wanted to do something big. And so, you know, if these guys choose to stay, I'm thrilled, obviously, but if they choose to go, you know, I'm their #1 fan either way, because I just want what's best for them, and just I can't really predict what's best for them. They got to figure that out for themselves. They're grown men now.
Aaron, so back, you lead this bowl game with the number of records. I think the most passing yards, the most Georgia bowl game touchdown passes, the longest single play. But you also were up against the #1 passing defense in the country, and it didn't start off necessarily that well. Talk about the process of getting into the passing game successfully after a tough start, and what opened up for you.
Like I said earlier, Coach Bobo had a great game plan. You know, got to give a lot of credit to him. He put us in great situations all day to make plays. You know, all season he's done a great job. I mean, we're averaging, I think, around 38 points a game. I mean, we set, I don't know, numerous records offensively this season. So I got to give a lot of credit to him and also to the players on offense, how hard we've worked this whole season. But heading into this game, we knew we had a challenge. You know, we knew they were, you know, pretty talented when it came to, you know, going against the pass. But like I said, we felt great with the game plan. We've been repping it for a month now. You know, there's just so much time in between our last game and the bowl game that you have a ton of time to watch film, figure out what they're doing defensively, and then, you know, get a great game plan. And like I said, Coach Bo called a great game, and we just executed it.
A couple more questions for Georgia.
Coach, obviously if these players left, they'd be difficult to replace, but you've got to feel good about the state of the program. Can you talk about where you think the program is right now, and if some of the players did leave, do you feel like there are players that would be able to step up?
We do. We do have a lot of players. I think the fans, they think about our starters, and they think about maybe the freshman class coming in, that recruiting class coming in, and I think sometimes they forget about everybody in between that's working really hard to be ready for their moment in time. And we've got a bunch of guys like that that are kind of waiting in the wings to make plays for Georgia and have their moment. I mean, obviously, I'd love to have these guys back. I mean, there's no doubt you can't replace that type of talent base and that kind of experience and leadership. It's hard to do, but you know, guys rise to the occasion. It's just like when Aaron was talking about our offensive line. We really had no clue what it was going to look like. It didn't look bad to start, no doubt, but they rose to the occasion. You know, we had two true freshman running backs come in and just play the way they played. I mean, we didn't mention Keith Marshall's catch, but that was a pretty spectacular play. And he's been outstanding all season long, so you just don't know who's ready to kind of be the next guy to step up and make a play. And we've got an outstanding recruiting class going right now. I can't get into particulars, but I think we're going to have a big class. I think we're going to have a very exciting class when it comes to talent base. And I'm sure we need some help from those guys too.